Well, we just pulled over to this little town that I can't even begin to pronounce the name of. Like some Icelandic names we got down. Some are a little bit tricky and we probably mispronounce them. I can't even try with this one. Anyway, yeah, so we're on our way south, but we had to sail north to get south because we don't get very long weather windows this late in the season. And so from Vestmannaeyjar, where we were, to the Faroe Islands would take about 3 days, and we just weren't getting a 3-day weather window. And so instead we decided to take a 2-day weather window and sail along the coast and a little bit further north so that we can then get another, hopefully 2-day weather window to sail to the Faroes. Sounds a little bit counterproductive, but we basically took a 3.5-day sail and made it into 2-day sails. In a couple of hours, it's gonna start blowing 30, gusting to 40 offshore. So we just tucked into this tiny little town to ride out the next probably 24 hours of wind. And then hopefully we can continue sailing or spend a week here waiting for another weather window. We're sort of just at the whim of Mother Nature up here. It's pretty late, but we're also pretty hungry. We haven't had like a cooked hot meal in a day and a half. So I'm cooking up some steak and potatoes and asparagus, and then we're gonna sleep and hopefully find some good weather to sail out of here soon.
Here's a funny story. Our shore charger just turned off and we thought it was something, you know, something tripped the breaker again, so then went outside to check and ran out of power. It's just pure black outside.
Yeah, I mean the dock here, the power on it's tripped, the breaker's tripped twice, so we keep like lowering our amperage even though it says 16 amps. I thought it was just that, but yeah, I went outside and I was like, wait, something's different, and then I realized like everything's pitch black except a couple of boats around us have their lights on.
Yeah.
So yeah, Iceland's out of power right now.
Or at least the town we're at. There's a blackout.
I wonder if it's caused by the storm that we're waiting on.
Probably. You can see like some people have candles probably.
The front that we were hiding from has officially blown over, and now it's relatively calm, but there's still a little bit of wind. So it looks like in the next 3-day forecast, we're gonna have favorable conditions to push probably all the way to Scotland. We'll definitely be downloading weather along the way because there's another storm coming along that's gonna blow over the Faroes. But it's right as we'd be passing the Faroes, so rather than trying to get into the Faroes in 30 gusting to about 50 upwind, we're gonna kind of be 100 miles away and skirt around the outside of it and keep riding it downwind, and hopefully make it all the way to Scotland. If the weather's still favorable when we get close, we might decide if we're gonna go east or west around the UK and keep sailing, but the Hebrides in Scotland is sort of our goal we're aiming towards. It should take us about 3 days, 3.5 days to get there, maybe 4. There's a bit of a calm section in the middle. We'll see how that, but it's 2 days away, so we'll see how that fills in. But yeah, most of the forecasts all line up with relatively favorable conditions. So we're gonna make a push south and hopefully get there before the next front rolls through, which will be on Wednesday. It looks like we're gonna get 3 days of good weather. That's definitely not a guarantee, but because we're sailing close to Faroes, we've got a good plan B to sort of like peel off and go there if we need to, or to Shetland, or to the Orkneys, or to Scotland. We can kind of like pick our weather once we get closer and make decisions, better decisions as we get closer. But yeah, getting a 3 to 4 day window this late in the year is very rare, so we are taking it because we don't want to get stuck in Iceland for the winter.
There's a big difference between wintering in Norway, which was absolutely magical, but we can keep sailing because most of the sailing in Norway is along the coast and is protected by all the islands. But in Iceland, there is no protection. So on a boat, you're not really doing much. And you know, the one day that you can sail out of 2 weeks, I'm not sure if it makes it worthwhile to spend a winter on a boat here.
No, it's also colder than Norway because you got that Greenland current.
Yeah.
The wind is much rougher. There's nowhere to hide. There's no good anchorages.
Exactly.
Yeah, Norway is a perfect place to spend the winter.
Yeah, I think so. And if we were if we were wintering somewhere else again, it would probably be Norway again.
That's right.
But It's right around the corner. Plan D, maybe, you know, if we skip the Faroes.
Plan N is Norway. It's like plan A is here, B is there, C is plan N is back to Norway.
The further down the alphabetic line of plans, the further north we're going to stay. But it's already winter now. Like it snowed up in the mountains 2 days ago.
There's still snow in the mountains, actually.
So yeah, which means it is definitely time to go.
And then bow, and hopefully the bow starts to get blown, and we'll just pop the stern line off real quick. If we have to go out backwards, we will. Do you want a motor, or do you want me to?
I can probably motor.
What's that?
I can motor.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, that worked out.
Perfect.
Beautiful.
I think it's a bow thruster when you have wind.
You have rope thrusters.
I'll clear lines and fenders, and then by the time we make it to the last green, I'll put the main up.
Bye, Iceland. It's been something.
It's been interesting.
It's been interesting. Alrighty, well, we are officially leaving Iceland. This was the last port in Iceland that will probably ever be in on this boat. And now we are officially going south. Not east, not northeast, not west. We're going south. So many waterfalls in this country though. Hard to tell which ones are hot and which ones are not hot. And we're sailing in the right direction.
Yeah, I can go put the pole on so that our night is a little bit more calm and collected. So when I get up there, I'm gonna get the pole ready. I'll get you to ease a little bit so I can clip it, and then I'll clip it on, and then we'll ease and extend it out. Then I'll get you to grind it back so that we can rig the forward like guy. But yeah, it should be pretty good. We're running downwind, so.
So you guys can see. Probably also like fall off a little bit.
Yep. This is the wind shift that's supposed to happen. We might need to roll up more later throughout the night. It is about 7 o'clock now, so it's gonna start to get dark soon, which also means the wind is gonna start to increase soon, as it's predicted to. So the main's down. We've got the head sail pulled out now because we're running almost dead downwind. And it's supposed to increase a little bit more throughout the night, probably up to the 30, maybe gusting a bit higher. But as we have found out, our wind instrument at the top of the mast that tells us wind speed and direction is not working. It's a wireless unit. It's still attached, so it hasn't broken off, but maybe the battery's dead. It's supposed to charge with a little solar panel, but it's been 3 years since we installed it, so maybe the battery's dead. I'm not sure, but nothing we can do about it now. So we are going old school with courtesy flag and the wind vane, so we can maintain an apparent wind course, not a compass course, because without that instrument at the top, it also means our autopilot won't work on wind function. So we can still steer a compass course with the autopilot, but with the shifting wind conditions, it's better to steer an apparent wind course. So we're using the wind vane for that. But yeah, we'll be making good time tonight. We've got regen going, keeping us topped up, and it's just gonna be kind of a rocky and rolly, foggy sort of sail tonight.
I might have been preaching, myself right, your creator, like
Well guys, it is almost 7 o'clock in the morning and the wind is about, no, the wind. The sun is about to rise. It is windy. Well, last night was pretty spicy too, but we still don't really have any wind indication, but based on the sounds of the wind and how the boat is moving and the sound of the boat, I would say it's blowing about 25 knots and gusting to 30. Yeah. The rest of today is going to be about the same, maybe a little bit windier. But I always feel like sailing at night feels more intense than sailing during the day, even if the wind is the same. But during the day, you can see what the waves are doing, you can see what the boat is doing, you can see around you, so it's not as bad. But yeah, we're doing good. We're pointing straight at Scotland right now, so that is not a bad thing. This reminds me a lot of the North Atlantic crossing, because most of the time it's just gray and raining and windy outside for now, so most of the time we're just inside the boat. We're taking turns sleeping, and the person on watch just watches movies and pokes their head out and look at the world outside, and that's it. Oh, yeah. Early this afternoon, the wind should be dying down a little bit more, according to the forecast, and we'll be able to unroll the head sail and be a little bit smoother. But yeah. Oof. It is also pretty loud inside. I'm gonna watch for the next 6 hours or so, and then it'll be my turn to sleep.
Well, it is the morning of day 3. We've been pretty much just running downwind for 3 solid days. We've got about 120 more miles to go before we get to Scotland. We've got a good weather forecast for the next couple of days, and in the next 24 hours it's just going to be more downwinded, 15 to 20. Maybe a little bit of beam reaching later on today, but hopefully we won't arrive at night. We've also had regen running pretty much the entire sail, and it's been working out really, really well. The new update has been really good. It doesn't rev up and rev down every 2 minutes. It's just like sort of a steady, constant hum, which is much nicer, especially since we're sleeping down below most of the time. It also seems like it's reduced our sort of float charge down to about 4.5, 5 knots instead of 5.5 knots. So we've been able to maintain our battery charge the entire time, and we've been sailing a little bit slow just because the sea state's really choppy and confused. Yeah, we've been able to maintain our charge. We go up a couple of percentage, and then we'll sail a bit slower at night and maybe it goes down a few percent, but we're still at pretty much 80% after 3 days, which is really, really good. And if we sped up a little bit up to like 6.5 knots, we'd be able to actually like significantly charge up. But if we speed up now, we're going to be arriving in the middle of the night, so we're probably going to continue to sail a little bit slower so that we can arrive in the morning, because arriving to a new harbor in the middle of the night after 4-day sail is never fun. So we'd rather just slow down by a couple hours and arrive during the day. But my watch is over. The sun is starting to come up, which means Kika's ready to come up as well, and it means I can get some sleep.
I'm sorry, I've shown you in the dark. All I want is love. I guess I can't help what I feel. How I think about it. Why does a bluebird fly on the wind? Everyone tells you it's time.
This is it, guys. The last stretch. It's less than 60 miles away from Scotland, and this is supposedly the last sunset of the passage, and it is a beautiful sunset. And
When was the last time we saw the sunset?
that is at sea. That's a great question. I don't know.
Sailing this
2 years
small
ago?
barge, like 3 months ago.
Right? Yeah,
The
probably.
first night, I think that was the last time we saw a sunset at sea.
I'm so excited. I think. Focus on me. Thank you. We are officially out of the north now that it's getting sunnier and warmer.
I like how
We're
Scotland
just-
is south.
Yeah, Scotland is our
south
indication
of
of
Scotland.
south. 1 step at a time, okay?
Yeah, it's 15 degrees Celsius right now. Like, we're back in sweaters.
I
I'm not
know.
even wearing a super puff.
It's amazing. It's gorgeous. Oh,
Where
it
is
is
it
so
going?
beautiful out here, though. The swells are huge, but they're like 30 seconds apart. So it makes it for a nice, slow, comfy, for the most part, ride. And very different than the start of this passage.
For reals.
It was a spicy start.
I'm so glad we got a good weather window out of Iceland, though.
I
was
know.
worried there for a while. We were never going to leave. We were going
Yeah.
to spend the winter there. We've had this lovely sail all the way south for 4 days. And in the Faroes, it's been blowing 50 knots for the past 3 days. We've just been sort of like circling around. There's a front that came and blew over the Faroes, and now it's paused, and now it's going to blow back over again.
Yeah.
So we snuck by in the good weather while the Faroes got. And yeah, I'm glad we did, because now we're back into favorable weather windows, and we can sail all winter if we need to and keep going south. We've been here before in the winter. It's not that bad. I say that now, but yeah, I'm excited.
I'm excited.
It's been real, but it's time to get a suntan.
Yeah,
Like,
it's our whole adventure in the north has been definitely an interesting experience, and it's been amazing. Actually, it's been something. But yeah, it's time for us to get some sunshine back.
we made it to daylight. The sun came up about an hour ago, and we are now pointing our bow into Stornoway, Scotland. And in typical fashion, we can't see it because it's raining. So it's either night or it's fog or it's rain. But we're less than an hour away. We're only about 4 miles away from the marina. So we're not officially there, but we've pretty much made it. And we're gonna have good wind for the rest of our little sail in, and trying to hide from the rain so I don't get super wet. But I'm excited to get some sleep and take a shower and do all the things you do when you make it to a new place. Sleep. I think mostly sleep.
It's always sleep.
Maybe shower. I'll find out when I take off all the score tags. Maybe shower. Do you want me to point it at you? Okay.